3 outs every time, that's the decision you have to make with a guy who's kind of at the end of his career.
Evan Longoria looks like he hasn't officially called it quits yet.
But he's getting close to retirement.
He's getting very close. He is now an Arizona Diamondback, correct? I'm pretty correct on that.
He was last year in the postseason all the way to the World Series.
So it's kind of an end of a long era of Evan Longoria, but a guy that, not officially retired, but unlikely to continue to play. 2023, his third organization, Diamondbacks. He has yet to sign his new contract, but he is yet to retire. So he is available if you want him. He's hanging on, but there could be an announcement here in a month.
Our fearless leader in Major League Baseball, you brought this to my attention yesterday. We didn't talk about it during the Daily Pickle. Major League Baseball hopes to test robot umpires as part of the challenge system in spring training next year. Rob Manfred says it could be available as soon as 2026. But listen to some of the things that he says. There are issues that need to be resolved. Well, part of the automated ball strike system is they can't to within and listen, this is 20 years ago when I was at ESPN. The human umpires have never been foolproof, and they miss up to 2,000 or up to 10,000 strikes a year. Because of the old way it used to be. It used to be Quest Tech. Then it became, TrackMan. All of the different systems that are in place have never been foolproof. And so now he's trying to sell this ball strike system where the hitter in the minor leagues, as the system is right now, can challenge the call. Which, again, I don't even know if the Players Association wants to even delve into this. Something that isn't close to foolproof, where a ball could bounce into the strike zone, be called a strike at the minor league level. And the guy can quickly challenge that, and it becomes a ball. That's what we're talking about here. They have yet to perfect this. Rob Manfred wants to try to push this. But, again, I don't have a problem with it, but I do have a problem with you either making the umpires into basically robots as well, where they're told what the pitch is being called. And so you'd have a human standing there going strike for aesthetic views. I'd rather have it like nobody on the bases. This is all going to be automated, and see how that works for you.
So I have the list of possible trade candidates, or the top candidates that look like they will be moving from their team, as there's been a lot of interest over the last couple of weeks. By the way, deadline will be on the 30th this year. It's typically on the 31st. The new CBA gives the commissioner the permission to fluctuate this date because of games and just where games are. Trying not to have the situation where you just get traded and you walk over to the other clubhouse while you're playing that team. But here, let's do some starting pitchers. I'm going to say some names and tell me which one you would want out of the bunch. This list has 8 starting pitchers, and I'm noticing a lot of American League teams that are on the seller list. White Sox, Tigers, seeing some Blue Jays, a lot of Rays that normally I don't see. But let me give you the White Sox, Tigers starting pitchers. You can only have one. Which one would you want? From the White Sox, your choices of Garrett Crochet, Eric Fetty, Jack Flaherty, and Tariq Skubal from the Tigers. Which one you want? You only get one.
I don't believe the Tigers are going to trade pitching, number one. They're too close. Number two, Crochet is the best guy out there. You just saw him at the All-Star game. Lefty, throws upwards of 100. Great command. He has the best or lowest batting average against four-seam fastball in the major leagues. That's better than Paul Skeens. That's better than anybody else in the major leagues.
Did not know that.
Yeah.
On the White Sox, he's doing this?
On the White Sox, he's got a horrible batting or one-loss record. None of that matters. They have a horrible team.
Yeah.
One of the worst hitting teams. One of the worst defensive teams. But this guy is a fabulous pitcher, and so I would go after Crochet because, first of all, he's young, he's controllable, and he's healthy. Those are all things that I value highly when I'm looking into a trade guy. So if you're thinking about this at the trade deadline, listen, I think the Tigers would listen to trade offers, but I think that their trade request would be way too high.
That's what I was going to say.
I think with the White Sox are looking for a partner that, 3-4 guys we could think about letting this guy go.
Minor leaguers.
Because of the fact that we're either going to have to keep him and he's going to go to arbitration, and we don't want to get into all that rigmarole right now while we're trying to go in a rebuild.
I'm going to try to keep a list of these and remember them for the next couple of weeks. All right, the next batch of starters: Angels, Rays, Blue Jays, Rockies. Tyler Anderson from the Angels. You can only get one, Dibs. Zach Eflin from the Rays. Cal Quantrill from the Rockies. You say, I say, we all say, Kikuchi from the Toronto Blue Jays. Which one you want? You only get one.
Well, right now Eflin was just signed by the Rays. I don't know how much he has left on his deal, but again, you could budget that in. Tyler Anderson is 34. The lefty is having a great season with the Angels. Even though he's 8-8, a 2.9 ERA on that horrible team, 118 innings. He's having a kind of a breakout year, but he's kind of elderly. Listen, he's still the kind of guy that, listen, he can help us win a world championship. I think about going out and getting a guy like that. So Kikuchi's one of my favorite guys.
I love Kikuchi.
If you're trying to do a salary dump, Kikuchi is your man. This guy, keep watching him. He is one of the better top 20 starters in the major leagues. I know he's probably going to be pricey because he came in here as a free agent a few years ago. But listen, that's the kind of guy, again, whether I'm looking at Eflin, whether I'm looking at Kikuchi, I can budget that in. I kind of look at Chris Sale years ago. You gave up 3 top prospects, Kopech and Moncada. I can't even remember the outfielder because he never made it to the major leagues. Both those guys have been pretty good major leaguers, but not great. The Red Sox obviously won the Chris Sale deal on that, but he had 2 years left at like 13 and 15 million per annually. And so those were well within the pay structure of the Red Sox at the time. So when I'm looking to trade for a dude, he's got to have a couple of different things in there. How long can I control him after I give up top prospects for him? And can I budget that into my budget going forward for the rest of his contract, or am I going to turn around in a couple of years? Does he have a no trade clause in the contract? Does he have things like that? What are the parameters of his controlling me trading him again? You know, who used to be great at this was the Oakland Athletics. I'll give you an example. Matt Holliday. They traded for Matt Holliday. He helps them get to the postseason one year. They turned right around and traded him again to the Cardinals in a huge deal and brought them. So not only, they did have to ship out some prospects, but they got more in return for Matt Holliday after he helped them get to the postseason. So that's the kind of stuff you're looking at with these trade possibilities.
All right, let's go to relievers. And I'm just going to star this guy because everybody wants him. I know he's going to be on top of your list, my list. And I'm trying to write these down, too, because I do believe this 2 weeks is the arms race of the World Series. Usually who wins this arms race is going to have something to say about it in the postseason. The guy I'm starring, I'm not even asking about, is Mason Miller. I think Mason Miller is the belle of the ball in the trade deadline in the next couple of weeks, the flamethrower from the Athletics that people finally got to see for the first time in the All-Star game.
Listen, this guy has just gotten up to the major leagues, and he's now an All-Star. He's a baby. He's so, I think about mileage on the arm, not a lot. This guy is one of the best pitchers, not just 102, 104 mile-an-hour fastball. This guy's got great stuff to go with it. He's got a good head. So I think, again, the asking price of the A's is going to be over the top 3-4 prospects and a major leaguer for this guy.
Are they still doing that, though? Are they still, doing baseball things, even though they're really kind of selling this team down the road?
You're always doing baseball things. Whether or not you're thinking this is our year, we're postseason bound this year, or we're going to be a team that goes to Las Vegas in the next couple of years, I think it's 2028,
right.
You want to have guys. So when you and I are GMs, you've got Mason Miller. I want him. Okay, I'll give you 2 lower level, meaning A-ball players, my top 5 prospect in Double-A right now, and a major leaguer for Miller. And now you shop them to 5 or 10 other teams, depending on who gives up the best prospects. They're going to win the day. I'm not really so much worried about the major league guy, because even a couple of years ago when the Red Sox were trading people, Mookie Betts was the guy that I wanted. David Price was the guy you got to take when he went to the Dodgers. So the guy that you had to take had a lot left on his contract. I might have to eat that, but I'm willing to do that to get a Mookie Betts. Now, on the other side of that deal, what was it? Kike Hernandez, it was Verdugo. I can't remember all the dudes that were in the thing.
Yep.
But I'm giving you some guys that really we don't value as much.
Spendable.
Right. So Mookie Betts was the winner of the day. He still is. He just got, by the way, congratulations. He has 10 years in the major leagues today, so he can veto a lot of the different trades and things like that. Although I think he has a no-trade clause anyway. But congratulations, Mookie Betts. It's your 10-year anniversary birthday today.
So I got some more relievers, and we'll end on this. I know we're kind of running long because I got a lot
really?
of position players to even get to.
Yeah.
We'll do that maybe tomorrow or the next day. But you only can get one. I'm going to take the Tiger out of it. That is Chaffin, Andrew Chaffin. Chaffin. We'll take him out of it because Tigers, it's going to be expensive for you to get that guy. You can only have one. How about Pete Fairbanks from the Rays, Kyle Finnegan from the Nationals, Michael Kopech from the White Sox, Tanner Scott from the Marlins?
Well, Fairbanks is my guy.
Fairbanks over Kopech.
Yeah, Kopech throws hard. He's never really blossomed into the pitcher we wanted him to be.
Pete Fairbanks from the Tampa Bay Rays.
Fairbanks is their closer. He's a consistently good closer. I've watched him a lot against the Red Sox and the Yankees. He dominates both of them. Great off-speed pitch to go with the 100-mile-an-hour fastball. So, no, Fairbanks is my first guy because he can set up or close immediately, and he is battle-tested against some of the best in the AL East.
I'm hoping it's getting hot. It's been very quiet for the beginnings of the
usually,
trade
and
deadline.
you made this point the other day before the All-Star break. They go there, and Pete Alonso started squawking a little bit, making some noise. That's posturing.
He wants to be a Met.
He wants to be a Met. So that's they're laying the seed. They're planting the seed. They're laying the groundwork to let's try to get this deal done in the next 3 months,
right.
And not trade this guy, which you still can do. But at the same time, all these other backdoor playoff looking ahead trades were going on behind the scenes there. That's when we can go there and do work. It's not the owners meetings or even the GM meetings and stuff like that happen later on in the offseason. But this is as close in the next 2 weeks to July 30th to where I lay the seed. What are you looking for Fairbanks? What are you looking for Mason Miller? What are you looking for any of these particular starters, Kikuchi? And you start to get a feel for, well, what do we got in the minor leagues that we can give up that we don't want to destroy our minor league system? If I'm the Marlins, I got a bunch of major league guys I want to pick off. But like the Rays, the Marlins, they've already been scouting the Cubs, the Tigers. They've been not just scouting to get a big league. They've scouted your minor leagues.
Right.
Remember Ed Lynch? Ed Lynch and I were friends, and I used to talk to him a lot during this time. Jim Duquette's another guy we should have on the next couple of weeks to talk about this. Ed Lynch used to always talk about the Rays were fabulous. You know why? They had already put on the radar of the guys they wanted. So they immediately knew when they said, we will trade this guy, Fairbanks, for this, and this, trying to get two of the three. And Ed Lynch would be like, man, they just stole two of my top prospects. But they had already zeroed in on him, and I couldn't be like, well, he's not really that good. Or they knew everything about this guy, and so that's what we're talking about. The better organizations, the one we continuously see year in and year out, are like the Marlins, the Rays. The Marlins have kind of fallen off in the last few years, but the Rays are amazing. The Astros are amazing. Yeah. The Twins are amazing. The Dodgers are amazing. These teams that get the better low A or double A guys that in 2 years you're going to be like, holy cow, where'd they get them? And the right. Rays will be like, well, we got them from the Cubs, or we got them from the Pirates, or when they got Glasnow from the Pirates a few years ago. Now Glasnow has moved on to the Dodgers. So that is the brilliance of these teams, where they've already looked to raid your minor league system before you even had a chance to say, who do you want?
The Pirates are just the usual suspect, aren't they?
Pirates are the modern day Montreal Expos. You brought up the Expos the other day of how much talent they had all the time, and they would trade it. And then I can't remember who it was, but I'll give you, for instance, remember how good Cliff Lee became? Yeah. Bartolo Colon. Yep. They traded the Indians. Dave Dombrowski traded like a star major leaguer to get those guys as young players on the Expos. That's how smart these teams are. So those, I remember when Pedro Martinez was an up-and-coming guy with the Dodgers, the Expos raided him, got him, and then they flipped him for Carl Pavano from the Red Sox, went up to the Expos, and Pedro had his Hall of Fame years with the Red Sox. So again, it's years in advance of. This is why I think projection is the biggest thing. Knowing that I can project that guy 2-3 years down the road as an all-star player is a brilliant art form of these scouting guys. So if you're just thinking analytics and you don't have good scouting, you're not going to be good long.
For Pirates fans, enjoy Skeens for as long as you can.
Until somebody gives them a good offer.
As long as you can.
Donna Manacchio, God bless her.
Yeah.
We've known her for a decade here at the Rob Dibble Show with Ben Darnell. Is with Hands on Hartford. They help our homeless. They help our needy around our community. We're going to talk to Donna Manacchio next on the Rob Dibble Show.